Hello and welcome. Today, we're going to connect the dots between the way your brain is wired and the way businesses make decisions. We'll trace a line from the psychology of how you think to the ads you see every day, and then figure out how companies know if any of it is actually working.
So, have you ever stopped to think about this? How does a simple date, just a couple of numbers, turn into this massive global shopping event? Well, the answer isn't just clever marketing. It's actually rooted in the way our brains work. And that's exactly where we're going to start. To really get why some things catch on and others don't, we have to start with the hardware itself, our brains. So let's take a quick look at the basic wiring that makes certain numbers and ideas stick like glue. It turns out our brains have this cool two-part system for dealing with numbers. You've got the left parietal lobe, which is basically the calculator. It handles the raw quantity and the logic. But then you have the frontal lobe. That's the storyteller. It's the part that attaches meaning, feeling, and associations to those numbers. The best marketing you'll find doesn't talk to the calculator, it speaks directly to the storyteller. So how do we actually talk to that storyteller brain? Well, you make the numbers less, abstract. You can link them to pictures, like turning the number 8 into a snowman. You can use repetition, which literally builds a physical pathway in your memory. Or you can wrap them in a simple story, like thinking of 2 hands for the number 10. These aren't just tricks for school. They are the absolute building blocks of advertising.
Okay, so we know our brain has this storyteller inside that's open to suggestion. Now, let's jump out of the brain and into the real world to see how that knowledge is used to shape the choices we make every day.
And this brings us to a really, really important idea: perceived value. It's not about what something actually costs to make, but what we feel it's worth. It's all about context, branding, and the story you build around it. That feeling, that's what marketers are really selling you. And here's a classic tool you've definitely seen, called the contrast effect. Restaurants don't always put that $60 steak on the menu expecting to sell a ton of them. Nope. They use it as an anchor. Because right next to it, that $30 option suddenly seems like an amazing bargain. Your choice is being shaped before you even know what you want to eat. All right, we've seen how the brain works, and we've looked at some classic psychological tactics. But now let's get to the really fun stuff. Let's see what happens when marketers decide to just throw the rule book out the window. This is where things get interesting. It's called counterintuitive marketing. The whole point is to do the opposite of what people expect. When you see something that makes you go, huh, your brain pays extra attention, and that creates a way stronger memory. Let me show you a few fantastic examples. How about this from IKEA? Don't buy this sofa. Your immediate reaction is probably, wait, what? Why? They're not trying to lose a sale. They're making a huge statement about sustainability, telling you to repair things instead of replacing them. It's shocking, it's totally memorable, and wow, does it build trust in their brand. Or here's another one. A company takes what could be a negative, that their product will ruin every other shoe for you, and flips it into this ultimate power move. It's a statement of absolute confidence in their quality. It's so bold that it just sticks in your head and makes you really, really curious. And this one is just brilliant. Instead of trying to hide a high price tag, they put it right up front. They take the biggest potential flaw and turn it into the product's greatest strength. They're telling you, yeah, it's expensive, and here's exactly why it's worth it. It just cuts through all the noise and reframes the whole conversation from cost to value. So, these creative strategies are fantastic, right? But in the world of business, creativity has to pay the bills, which leads us to the most important question of all. How on earth do you know if these clever psychological plays are actually having an impact? And that brings us to the final stop on our journey. We're moving from the fuzzy world of psychology to the hard world of proof. This is where we see how businesses use data to figure out if their clever marketing is actually connecting with people and, making money. The answer is all about data visualization. I mean, let's be honest, nobody wants to stare at endless rows on a spreadsheet. So tools like Looker Studio are designed to take all that confusing data and turn it into simple, clear visuals that tell you a story in a single glance. And the process is all about getting from raw numbers to real answers. You just connect your data sources, pick the charts that tell the story best, and then share what you found. Let's see what that actually looks like in practice. So check this out. For an online store, a simple chart like this gives you a crystal clear picture of where your visitors are coming from. You can see right away, okay, Facebook is our biggest driver. Easy enough, that's the what. But, and this is the crucial part, we don't just want visitors, we want sales. This bar chart connects the dots. It answers the so what. It shows you which platform is actually bringing in the most money. And just like that, you know exactly where your marketing is working the hardest. This is how data proves that your strategy is the right one. So there you have it. That's the entire playbook, all the way from the psychology that makes a message stick, to the wild creative ideas that break the mold, and right down to the hard data that proves it all works. The next time you see a clever ad or a strange price on a menu, you'll know the deeper game being played. The only question is, what are you going to notice first?